This is Eliza Kendall coming to you from Bunjalung Country on the 21st of April 2021. This is Bebop King, a beautiful friend of mine, and I'll let her let you know today what is alive in her and the topic that we're going to be talking about. Hi.
What's alive in me today is I'm feeling into how do I show up for myself fully and be in my true sense of who I want to be and embody my boundaries in a compassionate way. How do I communicate better? How do I have these elements of the yin of knowledge, wisdom and cultivation with the yang, with the action and just holding myself and others in the most compassionate way possible. So really value any insights.
Awesome.
Yeah,
wonderful. And I know that you, like me and probably like many of you, are sensitive as well. You know, you're a heightened sensitive person, empath. So, I also understand that, sometimes it can be tricky for us to sort of really assert our boundaries and really kind of speak in that way that perhaps does require, a little bit more fierceness or a little bit more fire or something, because we are always really wanting to do it as compassionately as possible and not upset the other but still honour ourselves. And sometimes that line and that boundary in itself can be kind of quite tricky to navigate.
Totally,
So let's see if we can get some information from the beautiful guides today about that. I'm sure that'll be really helpful for a lot of you to hear. I know a lot of you are also sensitives who watch these videos, so let's see how we go. Okay, I'm just going to take a moment to welcome in and see who wants to speak with us about this topic. Okay, we have two beings here, and they're kind of representing the different yin yang as well. So they've sort of separated themselves in their the way that they identify into us in order to pass on this information to us. So I'm actually just kind of going to request from you, B, I guess, as to which one you would like to speak with first. It feels like they would both like to speak from the different sides, the kind of different polarities.
Yeah, I mean, yin comes to mind first.
Yeah, okay.
It's that feels like a foundational piece. Sitting there knowing first. And an element around trust is coming in there, the need for trust and of the receptivity to be held first.
Yes, we would love to speak with you. I am willing to speak with you on behalf of this energy, let's say, the energy of the yin as it is in this current reality, this existence that we have as we move through this particular time, especially as it plays out in your understanding of time within the journey that is new, that is current, that is being updated and recalibrated now as we come into a different time of understanding. We are excited about this moment for you right here, right now in the evolution of your consciousness as a new understanding comes down around how to, we wish to say, wield or maneuver or embody and enjoy these different energies, the energies of the yin and the energies of the yang. And so we are so willing to speak with you in regards to the embodiment of the yin energy. And we have heard you requesting some clarification and perhaps some deepening of the understanding of trust as well as receptivity. We find this interesting and quite curious, and we wish to offer you perhaps a refocusing, or we wish to turn your attention to something that we feel you understand very well in regards to receptivity. You understand the receptivity of the consciousness of Mother Earth, do you not? You understand how she feels everything. She hears everything you say to her. When you sing, when you think of her, when you dream of her, when you walk on her, when you take certain actions, she feels and receives all of it. And what does she do when she receives it? She determines what is the most appropriate way to use the energy that she receives. It is her who determines and decides and dictates, we could say. It is somewhat of a assertive method. She dictates the way that the energy that she is receiving from all of the life force that is within her consciousness, where it goes and what happens to it. And if there is an excess of energy coming off of a person, let's say, she simply takes that excess energy and she moves it somewhere where more energy is required, where new growth is required, where extra nourishment or rejuvenation or sustenance is required. And she does this in a way that is very, well, we want to say flowing. It is, yes, often direct. It is, yes, powerful. It is, we could say, assertive, yes. But it is also very intuitive, you could say. You could understand it in your capacity within the human condition. You could understand it as an intuitive or an instinctual way. She works with this, whatever she receives, very intuitively. She does not need to think of it, and she also does not determine whether or not it is right or wrong, whether or not it is good and bad. And she also doesn't even determine whether or not she wants to receive it, because she understands she is a receiver, and so there is no fighting it. It is her natural way to be. She receives the energy, the information, the understanding, the feelings, the thoughts, the actions, and then she maneuvers them around appropriately. And so those of you who are in a feminine condition, or perhaps wanting to work with the yin energy, as you engage with others, and let's say you engage with a yang energy and it comes to you, simply receive it. You do not need to block it and then determine whether or not it is appropriate or okay for you to receive it, because we wish to say to you, you have already received it. If you have perceived it, you have received it. If you have felt it, you have received it. If you have heard it, you have already received it. And so instead of resisting, the earth doesn't resist what comes to her. Again, she simply maneuvers it appropriately. She is malleable, she is fluid, she flows with what comes in, but she has no fear of it. And this is where it becomes quite easy for her to move with it, because she does not fear it. And so even if it is a very strong, let's say angry energy that comes to her, she doesn't fear it. She has no issue with it, really, because it is simply an energy and it is charged a certain way. And she knows that she has an infinite capacity to take what is presented and to change it and transform it and transmute it into what is more appropriate. And so those of you who are perhaps wanting to be, we want to say new earth leaders, new earth people, or new earth warriors of yin energy, what you could simply do is just sit in the absolute knowing that you have every capacity within you to do what needs to be done in order to transcend or transmute or transfer perhaps the energy and any energy that comes to you. And so we wish to sort of invite you to, instead of thinking about something like boundaries or blocking or pushing things away from you, to breathe them through your awakened heart and then breathe them out. Breathe them in, breathe them out, breathe them in, breathe them out. That is all. Be cyclical with it. You do not need to analyze so much. Now, yes, it is important to ensure that you are, well, we want to say, not holding any of the energy that comes to you, because if you hold it within you, and we want to say resisting is holding, is it not? Resisting is holding, is it not? Pushing is holding, is it not? Worrying is holding, is fearing is holding, is it not? And if you are holding it, that is when it then begins to have an influence or an impact within your vessel, your auric layers, your mind, your hologram, your avatar, that is perhaps creating or contributing to some conflict. It is within the holding that conflict or contrast, or, well, we wish to say discomfort or discordance perhaps, is then occurring or being felt and experienced within your vessel. So again, breathe it in, breathe it out. If someone is yelling at you on the street, for example, breathe it in, breathe it out, and think nothing of it, like water off a duck's back. It is not yours to hold, but if you have heard it, you have already received it. And so when it comes to trust, we are inviting you to trust that you are the ultimate transmuter, transcender, transformer, receiver. This is something you can trust. This is how you are made. And you, if you are within the feminine condition, or you are embodying feminine qualities and choosing to view your world through that lens, that is the natural way to be. And so we hope that this is easy for you to understand. Is this easy for you to understand in this way? Yeah. And do you have any more clarification that you wish, or questions you wish for us as we represent the yin energy?
Yeah, when you have that receptivity and say you have a sense of holding and you can feel that it's affecting your vessel, yeah, obviously breath is good to move through and release. Is there any other?
Yes, breath is wonderful. There are many ways. Do what feels good. Do what feels natural. Make no apologies for this. You may wish to make sound. You may wish to yell if you want. We perhaps encourage gentle ways of doing this, particularly if you wish to, well, come into a time when there is a softening and contributing, creating perhaps more peace around you. Consider gentle ways. Consider the elements of water and wind. The wind is very powerful. The water is very powerful, but they're also very soft. And there are lots of ways. You could move your body is a very good way. Making sound is a very good way. But we wish to let you know that you have all that you need. You do not need anything on the outside. You do not need any help for this. You do not need any external instrument or technique or technology or device for this. If you choose to use that, then that is your choice. But we wish for you to know that your vessel, your mind, your exquisite, tremendous mind, your body and all of its capacities has every skill it needs to easily let go. And yes, the breath is a way you let go. Sighing is a way you let go. We also wish to invite you, there is always an opportunity for you to simply surrender it back to the Mother, the consciousness of Mother Earth. She is your guide here. She is your leader in this way. And so she is also your mentor, is she not? And so if you are unsure about how to let go, go to her, ask her, speak with her, or lay on her and simply let it pour out of you down into her soil, into her dirt. Touch a tree, go for a swim, let the wind brush against your face. Any expression within the natural environment that draws your attention as you ask the question, Mother, how can I let go of this? That is the illuminated pathway for you. She will show you the way if you are willing to notice it, and also if you are willing to let go of it and hold it. And we wished for you to understand that sometimes there is a desire to hold it because it then allows you to be right. It allows you to perhaps hold on to some behaviors that are, well, we want to say, contributing and creating more conflict and separation within yourself. And maybe you choose to maintain a separation within yourself, and that is okay, that is your choice. But we also wish for you to know that sometimes you want to hold it because you want to fight and you want to be right. And this is a way, but there are other ways that are more enjoyable, more peaceful, more fun, and we are so grateful, so excited for you to learn and remember more and more ways to let go easily and have more grace and more fun and more joy. And this is why we speak with you now. That's all. I'm going to just let them go. That was like just a, I don't know how to describe it. It's like a mix of, grandmother energy, like, ancient indigenous grandmothers from all over, but also, angel feminine energy and higher dimensional sort of, wisdom, and, a real mix of things. It was very beautiful to feel. Okay. Okay, I'll see if the Yang representative, yes, okay, would like to come. Yes, we are happy with this conversation. It is time. It is appropriate in your current state of evolution for us to be having this conversation. And we wish to offer you another side now. We in the Yang condition, those who embody the Yang and wish to work with the Yang energies, we are the givers. We are the penetrators. We are the forward moving, leaping, stepping, jumping, running aspects of self. We are the fire. We are the earth. Yes, the yin is the essence of the Mother Earth. She holds this, but she also holds space for us, and she holds us within her ground, and she holds us within her fire, and she allows us to take action on her behalf. And we are thrilled to have an opportunity to take action on the behalf of the yin. And we wish for you to know that we will always give. We give and we give and we give, and we put out and we put out and we put out. And you receive. We put out and you receive. We put out and you receive. And this is the, well, we could say it is the natural way to be. We are on one side and you are on the other, but one cannot live without the other. It is oxygen and carbon monoxide. We need each other in order to have a full experience. And we need for you to receive what it is that we give you. And we know that this may be something that is, we understand this may be a little challenging. And so we want to speak to this as clearly as we can in order for you to understand it. But we wish for you to receive whatever it is that we give. Now, we do not encourage you to, we want to say, give back what we give in the same way that we give it. And so if you receive something from us that you, in your infinite wisdom of knowing how to transform and transcend, if we give you something that is conflicted, that is heavy, that is, well, we want to say painful, that is traumatic, that is chaotic, or that is, we want to say we know that the yang energy has been playing out for some, cycles, many cycles on this planet. It has been playing out in a way that it is very difficult for the yin, the feminine, to receive. But we feel as if you haven't quite yet accepted and understood that we cannot hurt you unless you allow us to hurt you. We cannot create pain in you unless you allow us to. And so what we want to perhaps lay out for you now is that if we give you anger, if we give you fire, and you determine that fire is too bright, it's too hot, you have the capacity to, as it comes into you, to instantly transform it. You do not need to bring in intense fire. The minute it penetrates the outer edges of your field, you can begin transmuting it. And the only thing you need is to not be afraid, to not be scared. And we know that there has been many, many cycles and much perpetuation of fear around what we give to you, and the penetrative way that we have often been very forceful in what we give to you. But we want you to know, even if we are forcing something at you, you have a magnificent capacity to neutralize it instantly. And it does not in any way need to get so close to you that it then creates conflict or pain or trauma within you. You can transmute it and transform it and neutralize it instantly. And so we wish to perhaps give you a bit of an imagery here or something to play with. And let's say, for example, a sword comes at you, and it's a very, very sharp sword, and it's a hot sword. It is a sword on fire, and it is coming at you. The minute you feel that sword penetrate your field, you can dispose of it. You can disperse it. You can, if it is appropriate to do so, and you will know what is appropriate if you are in your infinite wisdom and your infinite knowing, and if you are within the grace with which you hold the yin energy, this tremendous grace. That grace is so wise and it is so knowing. And the moment that sword penetrates you, perhaps you deem it appropriate to completely dissolve that sword into nothing. Or perhaps you deem it appropriate to redirect that sword. And maybe that sword needs to be redirected to a place where it cuts through disconnection, where it cuts through conflict. Sometimes a sharp and hot sword might be an effective tool. Other times it is not. And so all that comes to you can be an effective tool, and all that comes to you may not be an effective tool, may not be appropriate for you to work with, and may simply need to be redirected. And so perhaps if a hot sword comes to you, fierce wind comes out instantly and blows the sword somewhere else. And the sword goes into the ground and it cuts through some, we want to say conflict that has gone into the ground, or it cuts through some illusion and it just slices through really easily. The knife, the sword, is not an instrument that needs to be feared. Fire is not an instrument that needs to be feared. Anger is not an energy that needs to be feared. But if it is brought through you through the lens of fear, then it comes into you, and it is then a little more tricky for you to move through your vessel. But if it does come into you and you feel as if it has come past the edges of your field and it's come all the way into your physical body, into that layer of your body, and you can feel this sword or this fire is within you, and you've taken something from that yang energy and you don't want it, then that's okay. You can breathe it out. You can that fire out into the spaces out, and the earth will just recycle it for you. You can breathe it into her. You can stomp it into her. You can shake it off you like a dog shakes water off it. It doesn't keep the water on it. It shakes it off, but it's not scared of the water. It doesn't go, oh my God, this water, it's terrible. I should have asserted my boundaries for that water. It just shakes it off. Yeah? And then the hair dries, right? The hair dries and the dog goes on with its day. It thinks nothing more of it. It's done what it needed to do to shake off the water, and it knows that its hair has a natural capacity to dry out. And then it simply returns to its ideal, perhaps, way of being. It is no issue for it. And so we wish to invite you to gather together with other holders of yin energy and consider how you and speak and, well, we sort of want to say deepen in your understanding, share with one another how you transform, transmute, transcend, neutralize, adapt, how you flow, how you work with what you meet, and how you then change it into something that is more appropriate and new, or calmer, or lighter, or easier, or more graceful. Those of you who have that yin energy, you are grace. And we seek for your grace. This is why we penetrate. We seek to feel your grace within us. You seek to feel our fire. You seek to feel our action, our fire power to take action and make great changes and great leaps. And we seek to know your ability to neutralize. And so we learn and you learn, and we cannot do it without you. And we wish to contribute in the very best way that we can with this transformation of the, and as well as the understanding of the yang energy on this planet and how to work with it. And we wish as much as we can to alleviate any fear that you have about working with it. And we know that sometimes those of you who are in the feminine condition have a lot of yin energy and are very sensitive, that you sometimes are also afraid of your yang energy within you. And so you are concerned if you let your yang energy out, it will penetrate and create conflict and chaos, as you have seen and felt it being created, and as you have seen and felt it come into you. And so you don't want to give that back. But we wish for you to know that you are already ready to wield that yang energy, because you are holding the yin energy. And so if you are in touch with the yin, and if you are choosing, yes, choosing again and again and again every day to be that way, to hold that feminine energy in your vessel, and to know that that is an infinite purification power you have just by being in that yin energy, by being connected with that energy. You have this capacity to transform and transmute even the darkest or heaviest of things. If you can stay with that knowing, and yes, speak to other yin bearers about how they do this and how it feels to be in this empowered way, this way of sitting comfortably in this, knowing that in many ways you are, we want to say, unaffected by conflict, because you can transform it instantly. And again, you can transform it as it touches the outer edges. And those of you who are sensitive, you have an extra special skill to feel it in the outer edges and to register it there, and then to bring in your yang energy to take action. Bring in that yang energy to take action, to use your yin energy to neutralize, transform, or defer, or divert, or transcend. And so we also wish to acknowledge that there has been great trauma and chaos created by the conflict between the yang and the yin. And we are so impressed and on board with helping you in any way that we can to create a unity between these energies inside of yourself, and then to call upon what you deem most appropriate in any given moment, which energy is most appropriate to call upon. And know, though, that as you express one, you also express the other. They can be expressed and used at the same time. They do not need to be separate in their expression, because that is really indicating that they're separate within you still. And so you do not need to only give yang or only give yin, as you, we want to say, as you give out of yourself. You can give both energies one as one, connected, unified, out into any response, any engagement, any encounter that you have with any other vibrational being. And so we wish to query if that is clarifying for you.
Yes.
We are also in this moment wanting to encourage you to remove pressure on yourself to get this, to understand it straight away and to embody it straight away. It is particularly those of you who are and have experienced we want to say conflict between these energies from your external encounters, to take as much time and pause and space and quietness as you need within yourself to create a beautiful space of harmony, to merge these two energies within, and to every day check in with that merging, to check in if both sides, both energies feel as if they are meeting one another equally. Because if you are meeting one another equally with compassion and understanding of the roles that each energy plays and the we want to say benefit that each energy has, if you are understanding and holding that and ensuring that that is balanced and honorable within yourself every day, then you will only meet that same honorable engagement outside of yourself. Oh, rightio. My back just cracked a bit then. Cool. Oh, yeah. That was interesting. Yeah, wow, okay. It was interesting, you know, the yang, it's like there was a lot of, I don't know, sort of sensitivity, I guess, and understanding around the sort of struggle and the difficulty, and I kind of want to say the trauma. I'm sort of somewhat surprised they used that word, but they really wanted to sort of acknowledge that and kind of like accept what's happened up until now, kind of thing. Like they really wanted to not sort of skirt over it, but it was also in some ways it was like, yeah, but that was then, and it doesn't, this is like now is now, you know. It was interesting, this sort of different vibe where they were like, we don't want to speak to it because we don't want to create any more fear, and we don't want you to think that you need to be scared, and it's almost like they were kind of like you've really been misinterpreting the yin and how effective it is. And how much it can clean and clear instantly. And it was almost like, we can't touch you. It's like, we ain't got nothing that we can, you know, really do. But then they were like, but we want to acknowledge that that's not necessarily been the reality so far. But they were so sort of really wanting to be very evolutionary, of course, with it, and very progressive. And
Like it feels like there's so much more there to unravel. It was just this opening of like, it was almost like they wanted to go, you have no idea how much you can take from us and it not actually have any negative impact on you at all. It's like, wow, okay. I'm like, really? You know, like, all right then.
Power of the yin.
Yeah. Really cool.
Yeah, I think there's a reclamation of like the power of embodied presence.
Yeah, fucking A. That's exactly what it was. But like, just be that yin energy. If you are meeting that really strong yang, then be the counterpart. And it's like we can't even, because it was almost like they were showing like one of those avatar wind wielders, where it's just like the sword comes and you just.
I was totally seeing the avatar when you were talking about the
That's what I did kind of want to, like, they weren't really like wanting to say it, but that's kind of what I was like. It's like a sword comes and fights over there, and it's like, oh, it hasn't even touched me. I've just done that, and it's gone.
Yeah.
You know,
because we can handle those elements that we can utilize.
Exactly, and there was very much that. As you heard, like, kind of, you can just draw on what's most appropriate. You know, you've got all of those energies to work with within the vessel, and you can just bring out what is needed at any given time. So whatever you meet, just meet it with what it needs to transform or transcend. And there was a really beautiful acknowledgement from both sides as well, that, you know, those who have the yin can do this without any effort, like instantly, like so intuitively. And it's not cerebral, it's not analytical. Like, they really didn't want to speak to analysing boundaries, you know. They were like, nah, that's not where it's at now. Yeah. Interesting.
Well, that could be full of falsehoods and story, and
that's it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And it was like you can maneuver it before it gets to story, before it gets in so much that it's then, I've now got to figure this out. Kind of thing. It's like it doesn't even need to get that far into your own, you know, your own kind of layers of your expression here. It just touches the edges and
And quite often, like, if you're talking about, sometimes if you're talking about boundaries with other people and you can't control what boundaries other people hold, only what you hold yourself.
Exactly.
So you can just talk about having that balance in yourself, and then you'll only emanate things that you want to attract in your life.
That yang energy was just really like, you know, just every day, just sort of go into yourself. And it's actually kind of showing me here, like the yin yang here, you know, like the masculine and the feminine, and that, like, just go here and just kind of go, hey, how you going? You know, like, how's my yang? And like, my yang's a bit depleted, or, you know, so I can't get to do something, or, you know, my yin's a bit vulnerable. Okay, so can the yang hold it for, you know, like, just like get your kind of self here in your masculine and feminine. Just be like, I feel good here, and then you'll just know how to meet what comes to you.
Cool. You already met yourself.
Duh, guys. Oh my god, I love it. Okay, well, that was fun. Thank you for watching. Is there anything else you'd like to say or share?
Just my gratitude. And it's really nice. I can feel a nice more peace within myself. That's feeling settled, and wish for that to be emanated out
and
others.
It will. I also didn't kind of let you know that in these downloads, it's like it's also light codes coming through, and you know, it's a real transmission, energetic transmission as well. It's not just like the words. It's like, that's why they talk so fast. I'm like, I come back now. It's like like monologues. You know, not really an interview.
No.
They just love to share as well, you know. If you ask and they can understand what it is we want to know, it's so beautiful. They're like, great, we'll speak to this, and they just like start talking, you know. And then, you know, they're feeling the whole time, like they're obviously, you know, me, even the energy of the people that will kind of watch. It's like they speak and then they go, okay, so there's sort of things are changing there, but there's a little more peace, and then they'll say something else. You know, like they monitor that frequency the whole time. It's really cool.
It's incredible. I love it. I love it.
I know, right? So I can't upgrade it. Cool.
Very good.
Oh, wonderful. All right, well, thank you so much. It was really fun. Thank you for coming in. Yeah, thank you to the beautiful guides, of course, always, and thank you for watching. If you would like to know any more about my work or Bee's work as well, I'll put some links and some info about what this beautiful woman does in her the rest of her life.
Yeah.
And yeah, lots of love to you, and talk to you soon. See you.